Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Royal Thunder drummer Evan Diprima to the podcast. Royal Thunder's new album, Rebuilding the Mountain, is out this Friday, June 16th, on Spinefarm Records. Evan talks about playing drums as much as possible and how that helped him land his spot in Royal Thunder, sobriety, and the work that went into Rebuilding the Mountain. Rebuilding the Mountain is an excellent record, and I hope everyone gives it a spin on Friday. Enjoy today's chat with Evan Diprima of Royal Thunder.
I'm in North Carolina, actually.
Okay.
That's where I live.
Nice.
I live right near Charlotte.
Okay.
So I'm from Atlanta, though. That's where I lived up until the last almost 3 years. It's been about 3 years now.
Okay. Awesome.
So when we practice and stuff, I just drive down there. It's about 4-hour drive. It's nothing.
Yeah. Last week we drove. I'm up in DC, but my wife used to live in Charlotte, so we stayed with her best friend. We had to go to Alabama for a funeral, so we did the back and forth between Charlotte and Alabama, so through Atlanta and Charlotte. Yeah.
I actually had my grandparents used to be in Alabama when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
But I've never done the Charlotte to Alabama drive. Only the just going west, like on tour, like from Georgia to see my grandparents back.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You grew up
everywhere. Every state looks the same, pretty much.
They do, yeah. And it's like, it's funny as we're driving through Atlanta, and like, yeah, traffic there sucks, but I live in DC and traffic here also sucks. It's like, it's a city. Like,
it's probably equivalent, I would say, DC to Atlanta traffic. Yeah. Atlanta might even actually be a little worse now.
Maybe.
Traffic wise. Who knows?
I don't know.
It's always been like that, man. Since I was a kid, I remember trying to drive, like when I first started driving, trying to drive downtown would be so intense. Because I grew up about like 25, 30 minutes away from the city.
Okay.
Like in just like closer to what's called Stone Mountain. Kind of like towards the suburbs. And I remember when I first started driving, like first time I drove in the city of Atlanta, I didn't freak out, but I was like having super bad anxiety because I didn't know how intense it was going to be, man.
Yeah.
But it breaks you in real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, what was growing up like?
Growing up, man, a lot of skateboarding, a lot of Metallica,
Nice.
A lot of, let's see, me and my buddies got into like paintball. Hockey, pretty much tried a lot of stuff, man. Like a lot of outside stuff. Like as me and my buddies growing up, we'd pretty much just be outside building ramps or like going in the woods or something. But a lot of drums, man. I started playing when I was like 7, so that's always been around. You know, it's just when I got older was when I knew that it was like the one thing that I really was passionate about, Yeah. I still wish I could skateboard. I talk about it all the time, but last time I tried to do anything, I had to get to the hospital in an ambulance. So it was like, I thought I still had it, man.
Yeah.
Tried to pop up on this marble like curb thing downtown and just splashed my leg up, and you could see the bone and everything.
Shit.
So and then I just haven't really been on one since.
Yeah. I could see that being a deterrent.
Yeah, it's weird, but I still want to. I don't know. I'd like to get one.
Yeah.
I just know I'll fall one time and that'll be it,
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah. I got back into bike riding back in August. And I was like, the first few rides out, I'm like, if I fall, it's gonna be, I'm gonna hurt myself really badly. But I've not, so, and it's been great. So
Yeah.
maybe skateboarding will be the same.
You know, it is the older you get, it just one fall.
You do not recover.
Yeah, it's like, oh, when you were a kid, you just fall, bounce off the ground, you know?
Yeah.
You'd be fine. But now it's like one fall and you're just like done, dude.
Yeah. Do you remember the X Games? Was it Danny Brown? Maybe I'm wrong, where he did the like high jump and just like fucking face planted and his like shoes popped off. He fell 50 feet or something. And then he just like pops back up. I mean, he like was down for a minute, but then he eventually pops back up and it's like, you should not get up after you fall like that.
That would have made me quit.
Yeah. It was insane.
I would have been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But man, those guys, they're passionate about it, like I am, or with music, you know, it's that's how they feel about it. So I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like I've messed my knee up drumming my whole life, but I still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You got drums back there, I see, man.
Yep.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yep. Got that.
Do you love playing?
Yeah, by myself mostly. So these days, but yeah.
It's crazy what you can do like through Zoom drumming now.
Yeah.
So you can like jam with people digitally and all that stuff. It's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome. I can't remember the site name, but there's a website like specifically for that, like practicing virtually with your band.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy.
I'll have to look into that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's rad.
It is super cool, man. Check it out for sure.
Yeah. What got you into drumming?
Well, my mom is piano player. My grandma and my great grandma all were piano players, so like they passed that down. So I grew up from day one hearing the piano. My mom played it, you know, she played in churches every Sunday kind of thing up until I was about like 12. But it was more of like I wanted to try an instrument, and that's the one that I wanted to try, and I got lucky, man. It was what I wanted to do. You know, I just got lucky. And my first teacher, same as Travis, he was just super cool dude. And I think the way he taught me as my first instructor, just like, you know, helped me want to learn more. And like, you know, he liked heavy music, like heavy metal. So like, I remember he taught me out of his family store, but he always had his drum kit set up in the store too. But we took lessons on like the electric kit in the back. But his drum kit was like this massive, like double kick, like huge, awesome metal kit. So that kind of got me really into it, man. And then from then on there, I just got into different kinds of music, mainly like metal and rock music, punk music. I still listen to all that stuff. Too. It's just as far as playing, like I kind of swing towards the rock stuff now, and then like the super heavy metal. Even though I'll still play it like by myself, you know. But it's just the rock kind of mid tempo stuff's really what's I have the most fun doing, man.
Yeah, you can kind of hit harder, a little more like intense playing that as opposed to like having to be super technical, right? Yeah,
well, you can, to me, like I can think more of the performance aspect versus like the technicality of the live show. Like I try to play pocket, man. I don't try to like overstep on the vocals or anything. So mainly my main thing is just on the heartbeat, you know? It's got to be steady or everything's messed up. So that's what I mainly focus on, is like laying the foundation just so everyone else can do their thing, you know? And once I realized that with drumming, like that I didn't have to just play fills the whole time or crazy stuff, I think is when I really like grew as a musician. Because I think about the whole song versus just like how crazy my drum part can be, you know?
Yeah.
Different music calls for different things, man. I mean, I think when I started playing, it was, I jammed with so many different albums and stuff like out of my stereo that I just like kind of became a chameleon.
Yeah.
In a way, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I can't really remember a day without the drums, honestly. It's hard to remember that young when you're that young.
Yeah.
Some people can, but it's super tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you started really getting into music, punk, metal, rock, whatever, was there a good scene in Atlanta?
Oh yeah, man. So Atlanta's always been great for like heavier rock and metal and hardcore and death. I mean, you name it, death metal, like grindcore, like all the stuff, dude. And it's always had like a killer community for that. A lot of good places to play. It's a small community. It's tougher to break into. Like I remember, like I had a band when I was in high school, and we used to like 14, 15, we'd play like the Masquerade in Atlanta, and like we'd play like regional states, and like we couldn't drive yet, so our parents would just drop us off. Like, and like we'd be playing with like older bands, and they'd be like, "Who are these little kids opening the show?" Like, I don't know. We just got lucky with these shows, man. I would just like email the shit out of people until we got, but like, and then I really cracked into the scene when I got older, and I was still younger than everybody. So I basically just went around to shows and just like punished people, man, to jam with me.
Yeah.
And then I got in some bands, kind of finally someone gave me the time of day. And then just from then on, I just jamming with as many people as possible. And then, got to know everybody. And then literally, with Royal Thunder, Josh just called me one day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that worked. And just from small little tight knit community, man, just getting to know everybody. But I kind of definitely like, you got like, what's the word for it? I had to like force myself to go out and socialize, and like I have really bad social anxiety. That's why you'll hear me go off on like rambles or something. But like, so like it was hard for me, but it got to the point where I was like, dude, I know I'm young, everyone, but just like let me sit down and play, and then like that's just let your playing do the talking. That's the best advice I could ever give to anyone, man. And I'm not even like some huge name or anything like that. It's like I'm lucky to even be able to play, in front of anybody. But a kid, I would just say, dude, just like let your playing do the talking.
Yeah.
It's the best way to do it, man. And just put yourself out there. I don't know, but the scene's great, man, in Atlanta. I gotta say, I'm like a little out of touch now since I moved. I've actually kind of been reclusive since we started like demoing the record and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like getting used to like being around people again and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it was really easy with COVID too, if you like have that tendency to just like be by yourself and like not be around people anyways. It was real easy to like get back into that. Like, I'm fine not being around anybody. Like, I hate people.
Yeah.
So.
Hey man, I went full on like cave troll, dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it kind of worked to the advantage of being able to work on the record so much.
Yeah.
Just all that off time and downtime. I mean, we're finally just now getting back on tour in July.
Oh yeah.
So we're all stoked and thankful to that and like excited, man. So, but it's been a couple years of preparation to get everything rolling again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A
lot of hard work, man.
Mm-hmm. Is this your guys' first tour since like everybody in the band getting sober?
Yeah. I still smoke weed, but that's all I'll do.
Okay.
Which I don't even consider anything. I mean, been smoking weed since I was a kid, you know. But as far as like hard drugs or alcohol, yeah, I mean, we're not touching that shit anymore.
Yeah.
It to each his own, but man, we just can't, you know, just the three of us, our personalities, like it'll kill us for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
And we learned that the hard way,
Yeah.
you know? So no, man, I think we're all just we just feel extremely lucky to be able to go do it at all again.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have an awesome team who still believes in us. They work their asses off. And, you know, we've really worked hard to like, each one of us individually has really worked hard to do this right now and like give it everything we've got, you know, with a clear head.
Yeah.
So we don't want, nothing can slip through the cracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
As far as sobriety goes, we're pretty fucking excited, man,
yeah.
to go do it that way, because like we're stoked to be able to like wake up early and like do shit and like not just like get a late checkout and drive straight to the venue and be late for load in like we used to be, you know. We're gonna seize the day, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you never know, like, especially over the last few years, everybody's learned. You never know when, like, that'll be your last time walking up on that stage or some shit. You know? So, we've always been a band that, like, no matter where we're playing, who we're playing for, we play 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're lifers here. We're not, you know, we would have quit a long time ago if we were going to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know, man. We're, I guess the words just, we feel really lucky, man, to be able to even do it, you know?
Yeah. Because this is your first tour with everyone in the band being sober. Are there safeguards or things you're approaching differently, or just like because you have the support collectively as a band being sober together, like that's what's keeping you in check?
Yeah, mainly. I mean, but I mean, we have each other as a support system, but like I said, individually, each one of us is super headstrong now about it too.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, man, we all had health issues and everything like that. We all individually went through different things, and like, we just know that it'll kill us.
Yeah.
And it'll destroy the band, and it'll ruin everyone's hard work, not just ours, but everyone who's behind us, the label, the agents, you know, Freeman, PR, you know, publishing, all that. Like, they still believe in us, man. So we can't let them down either.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll be any, I mean, no temptations with that stuff anymore.
Cool.
We don't need to worry about that, which is solid, dude. It's, I don't even think we'd go out on tour if there were any concern with that at all, to be honest.
Gotcha.
We'd kind of just be like, no, we got to figure this. We got to still work on this before we can go back out, kind of thing. But
yeah,
we've conquered all that stuff, man. We're thankful to be here and lucky, dude, and ready to go.
Yeah,
full throttle now.
With the band, before the release of Wick, you guys jumped from Relapse to Spinefarm. What led to that label change? Just contract up with Relapse, and what made you go with Spinefarm?
Well, Maria from Spinefarm had always been there with us, to be honest with you. She'd always come out to the shows with our old manager, Steve. Even when we were on Relapse, she was always at the New York shows and stuff like that. And so it was just a very, like, no-brainer. Like, we already kind of knew everybody, and it seemed like
Yeah.
it seemed like the right move, and it turned out to be the right move for us. And everyone there is rad. So, and everyone at Relapse is rad too. It's. I mean, to be honest, both labels are great.
Yeah.
It just seemed like we're a rock. You know, we've always been a rock band. So Spinefarm is all. It's a. I think. What am I trying to say here? I'm not trying to offend anyone, but for rock music, I think Spinefarm. It's where we're going to stay, man. You know, it's and like I said, it's everyone we've ever worked with is awesome. Like I said, I can't thank anyone enough. You know, I mean, but changing labels is always hard to do too, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like us and you like genuinely care about people. Don't want to offend anybody or hurt anyone's feelings. I mean, at the time, the transition just was natural, and that's what it was, and it turned out to be awesome. And I'm stoked we did it.
Yeah.
Because it's more like, I mean, we've been with them now for a long time, and just like I said, known Maria as long as we have it. It wasn't really a lot to get used to,
Mm-hmm.
I think when we first signed with Spinefarm, we didn't have our heads on straight. I think we didn't really do it. I mean, we just had a lot of stuff with alcohol and all that. I don't think we paid attention to mostly the things we should have paid attention to back then. But we can't live in the past, and it's almost like that never happened now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and shit, man. It's been a journey, dude. A long road,
Yeah. You left the band in 2018. Was that just to get sober, addiction, or were there other reasons that caused you to depart?
I had started kicking the drinking then.
Okay.
Like that's when I had just started it. Like I had not been doing it, and I was like all mentally fucked up with personal shit too, and so I just kind of like bailed when shit got tough. Just because I ended up going through therapy for a long time, and just to get my head on straight,
Yeah.
Nothing like that you should be concerned about, you know what I mean? Nothing like that, but like OCD, I have really bad social anxiety, stuff like that, so I had to work on that, man. And looking back, I wish I hadn't have left.
Yeah.
Because like we could have just worked it out, whatever, it was just like a lot of like, no, we were just not all in the best state of mind at the time. And mine kind of got away from me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I ran off, and luckily I fixed it. I fixed everything personally, like, and then, after about 2.5 years, I just hit everyone else up again. And I just hit Josh and Mel up, and I was like, let's do this again. Like, you guys want to do it again? And like, we hadn't talked in 2 years, and it was like immediate response. And we were like, okay, cool, let's talk. And like, we just threw everything out on the table, man, and cleared the air and worked it out. And now now it's permanent, man. Now we can work through fucking anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that was just immaturity, man. That's why I ran off. Tried to play in some other bands. Did that for a little bit. Didn't really wasn't really passionate about that for the long haul, and it almost like it's one of those things like I wish I hadn't ran off, but I'm almost glad I did, because it like made me realize like what we had together, mm-hmm. and like what we can do together, and just the way we have each other's backs and what we've gone through together. Like you can't replace that, man. I mean, now we've been playing together 10 years. I guess going on 11.
Mm-hmm.
But we not just playing together. We've lived together so long. We've gone through life together. It's just, I don't think I'd want to play. I mean, I know for a fact I don't want to play in any other serious touring band other than this one ever again. I mean, they're not, it's like my brother and sister.
No.
You know what I mean? To go through what we went through and like splitting and then like coming back and working it out. I mean, that says enough right there. That doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's basically what happened there.
Let's talk about Rebuilding the Mountain. Where'd the title come from?
Man, exactly what we just talked about. Restarting the band, doing it right, not taking shit for granted, respecting everyone, rebuilding ourselves personally as individuals, and just being stoked to do this again, man.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from.
Yeah. You talked about working over like Zoom and digitally for writing and demoing this record. How'd that process go with restrictions and just like you living in North Carolina and them in Georgia?
It's at first it was tough because I just moved. So like I didn't even have a kit set up. I hadn't built out my space yet. So I was literally plugging in drums with my fingers, like on a drum machine. I was you know, just to get like a rough feel or like groove on it. And then like it sounded cool. And then like I started actually heavily getting into like recording the last few years because of this.
Nice.
Because I was like, dude, I can't just fucking tap on the screen. Like, so like I had taken recording like classes when I was younger, but like just didn't like keep doing it, you know? So I kind of had like a basic knowledge and just like seeing everyone record our records and all the live sound engineers mic the instruments over the last few years, you know, decade or whatever. So I went out and I got like an 8-track, 8-pre like interface, and I just started once I got my kit set up, I started micing the drums and just recording live drums into Josh's riffs. And this was all while we couldn't even see each other because it was chaos, man. The world was chaos. No one knew what the hell was happening, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know if we could even be in the same room together yet, just because of what all the COVID and all that. And so we did the digital, like the file sharing for about a year. It seems like, maybe not quite a year, but seems like it. And then we finally got in the room together at the end of 2021 in Atlanta, and we're able to jam all these things we have been working on remote in person, you know?
Yeah. So,
you know, we set up some mics, just basic mics, and just started cutting live demos, man. And we cut demos. We probably cut like 10 sets of demos, man, for each song. You know what I mean? Like we really had time to hash it out on this record. So by the time we hit the studio, we just went in and tracked it. Like we didn't use Click Track or anything.
Yeah, I was reading that. What led to that decision? You just wanted to capture the raw performance and not worry about like, you know, going in replacing. Did you feel pressure of just like, if I fuck it up, we can't grid this? Or?
Oh man, I even when even the last two records, because the last two records we ran click, but I still track front to back.
Okay.
Like if I fuck up, I'll just go back and I'll start at the beginning and do the whole thing again. You know what I mean? Just because like when if you punch drums, or when I had like I fucked with that on demos, and it just like fucks it up. It just messes the whole feel up, man. So like so even with a click, I'll do front to back, even if there's like one small thing. Now that being said, I'm way less OCD about my drum takes than I used to be when I was younger. So like I let a lot of shit ride now that I wouldn't have back then. But that's kind of the whole thing of this record is like we wanted to produce that live show sound, man. Like, cause we don't run it. We're not one of the bands who runs a click live. We never have.
Okay.
It's just instruments, you know, we just get up there and have our monitors and we do it. And, people have always been like, man, I wish like that feel was on the records. So like, we got to thinking, we were like, dude, it's the fucking click track, dude. Like, it makes it too, I mean, you got to use it in a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. You got to use a click and a metronome, and you need to be able to play to one. But for us, it just like kind of took away from that feel. We want that push and pull. Like certain parts in this newer stuff wouldn't have sounded right if they were all on the same meter, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the way we did it. We went in the room together. We jammed it live. We got the drum take we liked and the bass take we liked for the most part. And then we just like punched in like leads and shit. Like, you know, like just, we did it old school.
Yeah.
Which was rad, man. And I think it really captured what we were looking for in the long run. And it's because I think we've gotten to the point, like, I don't know. We're just, I guess, more seasoned. It was also a lot faster process, you know, just plus like we've prepared. I mean, the 5 P's, prior planning prevents poor performance, you know, which we didn't do in the past because we'd just be partying, man.
Yeah.
And we were also on back, you know, like back 10 years ago, like I feel like bands toured more or were able to tour more. I mean, we toured so much that we didn't really have time to write as much in between the live shows, you know?
Yeah.
So we pretty much would go into the studio back then and write the whole thing in there. You know, we would have maybe like 3 to 4 like rough skeletons that we had kind of played on tour to kind of experiment with.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like Crooked Doors and Wick we wrote all that in the studio.
Wow.
Whereas this one was pretty much everything except for like some changes with guitar solos and like, of course, vocals, you know, always change when you get in there. Pretty much everything was written this time around. So, and I really enjoyed not using the click. I think we all did. I mean, I'm sure we'll use it for like, if we have a song that calls for it in the future going forward, we'll always use it. And it's no problem for us to use one, but, I don't know. I think we just kind of wanted to see what would happen if we just got in there and did it like we do live.
Yeah.
At a show, you know, didn't worry about like perfection necessarily versus we kind of chose feel over perfection on this record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's actually the perfect way to describe it.
Because you guys had demoed and worked so much on these songs, did you already have like the track listing and flow going into the recording process? Because the album flows so well.
Thanks,
especially like Drag Me Into the Knife, like the way those songs bridge together, like it just has a great feel to it.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. It means a lot to hear you say that too, man.
Yeah.
The flow was, I mean, we had a general idea, I think, that kind of came around in the studio when we started hearing everything back. But Josh is the one who really kind of sat down with and messing with sequences. And it only really took him about a day of messing with sequences, and it just kind of happened naturally.
Yes.
Like between the rough idea he had and then just actually putting it out on paper, Like it was real quick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We just got lucky this time, man.
Yeah.
It was very smooth. I mean, it's not always like that in the studio. Like we got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Who did the album artwork?
Josh actually did the artwork, and then Orion Landau, who did all of the Crooked Doors artwork and layout, actually took Josh's art and did the layout and design. So Josh did the art. Orion put it together for the vinyl, CD, etc. So the two of them together, I mean, the teamwork was awesome, man. Nice. We'd wanted to work with Orion, at least in some capacity, on this record since we even started writing it,
Yeah.
And then Josh is an amazing artist too. He's actually started tattooing recently over the last few years, so he was really able to portray his vision on this album, man.
That's awesome.
As far as because in the past, we didn't have the technology to I know Photoshop and all that was around, but as far as being able to hand draw and then scan it in and all that stuff, it was way harder than it is now.
Yeah.
So he was really able to do his thing this time. So I think that's super killer that Josh is the concept artist behind this.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys you said you're going on tour this summer. Is that the only tour you have planned, or are you going to try to hit the road this fall?
The fall is in the works. I don't know details yet, but we are going out in the fall for sure. I mean, the markets we aren't hitting this July will probably definitely hit in the fall.
Nice.
Definitely West Coast in the fall.
Cool.
Because July, I believe, is all East Coast. Maybe I think the furthest west we go is Texas, maybe.
Okay.
This July. So we got to go hit the other markets too this year for sure.